Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Sean. I have been the intern over here at the Ivory Tower Boiler Room with Andrew for this past semester, and it has been so lovely. Anything you've seen online, from graphic designs to the cuts to ads during episodes, well, that has been me. If you want to support more of me and my face, you could go see me and my face and my friends' faces over at our podcast on YouTube at The Salesman After Hours. And if you want to support us on all other forms of social media, please feel so inclined to over at Salesman Pod on all socials. Enough about me. Let's get into today's episode. So, this one's kind of crazy because this was not expected to be a full-fledged episode for your guys' ears to intake all this glorious information to. It was really just a conversation between Andrew and our friend Danny over at Playgirl Publishing. What was supposed to be a pretty chill and casual conversation ended up being just layered with the incredible history of Playgirl Publishing, the overlap of audiences from queer and female audiences, and maybe some celebrity, maybe a couple celebrity names dropped here and there. I don't know. It seemed pretty juicy to me. So this is going to be an audio only episode. We hope you guys enjoy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see you guys at the end.
I mean, I think the brand has always been positioned as that it's for women and that it's made for women because it's such a niche market that never, I mean, they were the first of their kind. And I think that lane is kind of worth staying in because nobody else is doing it. And I think that the gays follow along looking at something in a voyeuristic fashion that, it's not necessarily meant for them, but that makes it even more titillating for them, rather than, I don't know, when you watch like these gay porns and then the guy opens his mouth and it's like helium, and so I think that kind of takes there's a lot in the homo sexual mindset and culture that idolizes like the manly butch and everything, and then these guys are actually straight, most of them, the models. So I think that that is the angle of like desire for the gay readership as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Danny, are there ever any out gay models who do Playgirl?
Before, yeah, like like in 2007 is when I started, and then up through like 2015 when the magazine folded and the offices closed. And now we opened offices over here. But yeah, I was doing that for sure. I mean, I was getting models from like Michael Lucas, and that was what the first cover that I did was 2007, and most of the models were from Michael Lucas Studios. But then we kind of pulled it back just because it just seemed like it was going in the direction of like there's just so much gay content online, and what has always been so unique about Playgirl is the women factor. So the idea that you'll see the book, and the book has interviews with Cher, Jane Fonda, Joan Collins, Anne Rice, all these iconic women that if it's just a gay porn magazine, you're not going to get those women anymore. You know what I mean?
No.
Like Jane Fonda, we asked her to be on a new cover, and she said, "No, I could never be involved with a magazine with naked men." And we were like, "But you've been on the cover 3 times already, Jane. You don't remember?"
Wow.
But I don't know if that was like in the Hanoi Jane days. But no, she's older now. Maybe she just wants to distance from that. But yeah, I think it's important to stick with keeping the iconic women and the feminist roots there, because otherwise it just kind of gets too gray and becomes like just anything else. You can go on Pornhub or it's just like the cultural legacy of the brand is the feminist roots and its embracing of women as part of the team and part of the gaze, GAZE. Yeah, so that's kind of like we scaled back the
Yeah.
gay emotions just because it seemed like it was diluting the brand into basically nothingness. I mean, 2016, 2017 is when it kind of fizzled out, and then had a resurgence. 20 with the issue 2020 in 2020 had Chloe Sevigny pregnant on the cover, shot by Mario Sorrenti, and then the book is the first thing to come out since that, besides the online version.
Yeah, so like everything is now, right, Playgirl Plus, which is like a digitized
Yeah,
archive, right, that you like subscribe to.
and that is subscription based, but Playgirl.com is still a monthly publication. And we got Maluma for like to relaunch the flagship site in March. We got Maluma, who he's done that track with Madonna. He has a music
Oh,
video with.
wow.
He has like, I don't know how many million followers, like a lot of followers. Let me see.
Yeah.
He has 64 million followers. So he was our first big shoot of celebrity after doing like Campus Hunks of Fort Lauderdale was like the
Huh.
2016 or whatever. That was like the last print mag, and then Chloe 78 2020, and then we did Maluma as our like premiere
Hmm.
issue for the online new Playgirl.com this year. So we
Okay.
started with Playgirl Plus just to start the archives process, and also that helped me with the book because that was definitely a pandemic project for me to just, I mean,
Yeah.
all stuff had to be scanned. Still not scanned. We're at like 50% of the archives have been
That's
scanned.
wild. How many magazines are there that have to be, or since the beginning of Playgirl?
Around 600, I would say. I'll have to, let me see. Actually, I think I have an Excel spreadsheet of it.
Are you connected then, Danny? Like when did you start? Um, like when did you start in your current position as, is it managing director?
Um, 475 issues is what the spreadsheet.
475. Okay.
I started in 2007 as a video editor, and this is in my introduction in the book. There was an ad that just said "gay video editor needed," and I was like,
Wow.
okay, I can. I don't think that would fly necessarily anymore to put that as your just job listing title, but this was 2007, and I answered it thinking like I could do that, and I got the job, and then I was just like a lowly video editor, and they fired the producer that they'd been working with, and I was like, I could do that job, and so they handed me a wad of cash and said, go make your first cover, and so that's what I did with the Beach Bodies on Fire with Fire Island 2007.
Mm-mm. Mm.
And then and then they were like, oh, I was mostly working for Playgirl TV doing video content. So that was all video content. So like interviews with the guys and behind the scenes footage that was like the solo tack on scenes for um they had boy girl content too. That was pretty much like for hotel rooms, like 20 dollars to watch an hour of Playgirl TV or whatever, but it's guy girl content, and then they would have like a bonus scene or whatever. And I never shot any guy girl content. I only shot solo dudes. So I started doing that, like, and they were having me do that once a month, and then that was when they really ramped up the gay production gay promotion. So they had me going. We went to Southern Decadence in New Orleans. We went to the White Party in Palm Springs. We went to some gay
Wow.
club in Denver. And I think I even did Art Basel, Miami, and like, and we stayed at the Key West Island House and Coconut Cove in Fort Lauderdale is another clothing optional male only resort.
Mm.
Shooting at Belvedere and Fire Island, and just
Yeah.
very
I've been to the Belvedere twice, so I
yeah.
kind of I know the Belvedere, but haven't been there since I dated my boyfriend.
Mhm.
We'll see. We're navigating that field. But like, I'm just curious, are you connected then to like, Mark McNamara, Naked Sword, or is that kind of like anything like that is more in its own niche
Its
market?
own thing. I actually produced a podcast with Mark that we're doing tomorrow, an episode with Sir Peter and one of the RuPaul drag queens. But that, I mean, I have a second job that is with Falcon Naked Sword. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Where did you get the association from? Just
No, well, just because I love Mark's discretion advised. So like that's
okay, yeah,
just
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
oh really? Oh, okay. Well, you can tell Mark that he has
yeah.
a loyal PhD in English
Have
listener.
you ever,
Um,
like, I mean, if you would ever want to be a calling guest or something, I'm sure they would be down for that. Tomorrow's guest, we have a doctor from Mount Sinai talking about gay men's health. But like in the future, if you would ever be interested to be
yeah.
one of the call-ins, like I'm sure they would love to have your
Okay.
perspective.
Well, if they ever need like gay literature recommendations, I can jump in. But no, that's so interesting. Okay, so like you balance the Falcon Naked Sword is like your one.
That's fairly new. Yeah. I mean, I started with them just like within the last year or two. So I've been with Playgirl for 17 years now.
Wow.
So just kind of watched the company crumble in New York, and the owner was basically like, get a smaller office, get a smaller office, get a smaller office, and then
Mhm.
fire everyone and take everything home, is what he told me.
Wow.
And so I had to do that. And then I took everything home. I had a storage unit in New York, and I had the archives were between the storage unit in New York and my studio apartment in the East Village, with a server the size of my refrigerator in my kitchen, which had all the Playgirl TV content on it, and that all that content the size of a refrigerator now fits on a passport-sized drive. So
That's wild.
we
Mhm.
chucked that thing in the trash when I moved here. But and now I live in LA. But I moved all the archives across the country during COVID. Well, actually, it was January, February that I moved them across the country, and then COVID hit in March. So moved them across the
Mhm.
country, and then I had planned to move over here like March or so in 2020, but things got delayed, obviously, and then I wound up coming in August. And we have an office out here, just a small one, just to like have meetings and to keep the archives and like
Mhm.
the fulfillment. So we have it's only me and one other person really that are doing everything from the shoots to the programming to the I mean it's we have
That's
editors and
that's a lot though. I mean,
yeah,
like
it's a lot. And so but it's not like it's not making me rich, but it's not, I mean,
yeah.
it's not like, whatever. I had to get another gig, but it was through going to all these conferences when the previous owner said fire everyone and take everything home, he also said see if you can sell the trademark to someone who you'd want to work with. And
Mhm.
so I had carte blanche to go to every adult conference in the world and I had already been kind of going because we had our like Flirt for Free for Playgirl live cams and like all these other, businesses within
Mhm.
the adult world. And Playgirl.com was an adult website for years. And so even though it's not anymore, Facebook and Instagram still think it is. So we're going through this whole ordeal with censorship with them. But
Mhm.
we moved all the adult content to playgirltv.com, and then playgirlplus.com has the archives which have nudity. Playgirl.com has no nudity anymore. It's just
Mhm.
a feminist like
Yeah.
female
Yeah.
sex publication, like mainstream.
Mhm.
Um,
Are you allowed to have a TikTok?
they deleted it immediately.
What?
I got
That's
Playgirl
crazy.
models. It was just at Playgirl models, and then all we did was post behind the scenes of Days of Our Lives, which is a fucking soap opera. It's not like the guys got naked or anything. It was just guys with their shirts out, and they just totally removed the account, deleted, no question, gone. Can't.
Yeah, I've talked about this like on the podcast with other gay authors is it's just wild to me how like TikTok will like I have to like censor out words and things. And I'm sure like with discretion advised you do too, but like yet you can have like an audio clip go viral about what was that recent one where it was like a lot of girlfriends or wives like talking about their boyfriends or husbands like big cocks and it's like wait how is this allowed.
It's really the crackdown has intensified within the last couple of months, I must say that. And we haven't even tried with TikTok, but if you go to our Instagram, I'm sure you can see that, like, if you scroll down, there's so many squares that are just gray, and they're different on the desktop and the mobile device. So it's really confusing for me as someone who's trying to like control this and abide by their guidelines, even though we had been. But I mean, even I don't know. So we finally got verified just to see if that would crack the code of, you know, getting through this algorithm a little bit more, and it seems to be working now that they're getting a little bit of money from us every month. They like that overrides the algorithm just being like, no, you know, like, because a guy in his underwear where you can see, I mean, you can see that he has a bulge, but it's still in underwear or even shorts. I posted a guy with shorts, but I mean, you could kind of see the visible head or whatever, but like totally covered. But they removed it without option for appeal, which doesn't seem fair because when you go to Playboys, it's like totally like an ass in your face or like a nipple that is like four mosaic squares of pink.
Mhm.
Okay, but you, I mean, she's still nude, but I feel like it's double standard for male nudity, and I think that they're cracking down. So I think that even, I mean, Yummy Zine's Instagram is gone, like as of
Wow.
this month. But they had Yummy 2, which was a backup, but I think they'd had it for a couple years since 2022. But all that stuff, because I was always like, fuck it, how come Yummy can get away with this and we can't? And we're like a legacy brand for 50 years, and this company's only been around for however long. Also, because they, I mean, they were getting like big name male models that we are somehow untouchable as a brand for these modeling
Mhm.
agencies, but Yummy isn't. So I was like, how can they be getting away with all this? And we're like, you know, fucked over here. But they got fucked eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Instagram is not the place to show nudity, and that's very clear in their guidelines. But we were trying to skirt around it with, and you know, because it's like, oh, these everyone else is getting away with butts, but not anymore.
Oh, the audio trend came back to me. It was they were doing, instead of hit me with your best shot, it was hit me with your fat cock.
Oh
And
yeah,
then it was something about, and it's like, yeah, it's interesting. I think that like I've talked about this, but like the rules when it comes to um like gay men, or anything that's like around conversations about gay culture, it's like the rules are so ambiguous. And we're still, I think, trying to figure it out. But like you said, I think there's like a stricter like crackdown happening right now, and that's concerning.
yeah.
Um,
And it started happening before the election, so I don't think it's that to blame, but I don't think it's going to get any easier for anybody.
well, that's true. But yeah, I think that yeah, if you wanted to involve Mickey, that could definitely be interesting. I think my whole uh perspective is like coming from academia, like gay studies, like more about like the history of the Playgirl reader, like just how did this become such, a phenomenon, and um, like where is Playgirl now? Which definitely, Danny, you have so much already, I can tell, to speak to about it as like a brand now. Um, and like where does it go in this digital age? Which, like with OnlyFans, and like that's even something I'm just curious. Like one of my interview questions will definitely be like, who are these models? Like, what other worlds are they coming from? Like, where else do they intersect? Like, do they intersect in like a Falcon Studios world, or do they intersect in like a,
Mr. December of
oh yeah,
2020, December 2023, unbeknownst to us. I mean, because we really do vet these guys to like try to get a needle in a haystack of like this guy has only shown us his junk and nobody else. Because if they're doing porn on OnlyFans or on their Twitter, then who's going to pay for Playgirl Plus to see something that you can get for free everywhere else? So,
mm, mm,
and if we're going after celebrities like Maluma and the Days of Our Lives and all these people, if we're just throwing up any old porn star, then that's not very enticing for if we want to get
mm.
Timothy Chalamet or something. You know what I mean? Like it's not. You can't have necessarily both. So the beauty in the models that have been selected in the past and currently still is that they are kind of like new to showing off their their bodies and
Yeah.
not like total we're not not gay porn stars, not porn stars at all. And even if their OnlyFans is too explicit, we'll usually pass at this point because
Mhm.
trying
Mhm.
to get just something special that isn't available anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, and it's like there's an iconic book called The Nude Male, right? Which is like the whole history of like the male body and like since ancient Greece. But it's just fascinating to me that it's still like a taboo in America.
Totally.
Um, like, do you ever face like something I would definitely want to ask is like, right, you had so many prolific male celebrities. Has there ever been like a resistance of like wanting to feature their photos again? And they're like, no, no, like trying to fight back against like re-featuring um their nudes.
Um, Brad Pitt sued and won, and so his
Oh
issue is
wow.
illegal. um, but that was also it was paparazzi shots of him and Gwyneth Paltrow when they were dating, and paparazzi shots of them
Yeah.
naked on vacation. So that I mean that was before my time. I think it was 1998. But that episode, I mean that issue had to get pulled from the shelves, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio nude also that, and that was just the nudity from that was him and that he plays the author Rimbo in Totally
Mm,
movie, and you can see it, his whole chunk and front and back, just in like stills from the video from that, and that's what was published in Playgirl.
mm,
And he sued, and we settled outside of court. So, with both Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio have noticed and been unhappy with Playgirl's usage of them, but those are not shoots that Playgirl produced. Marcus Patrick, who was a soap opera star, he did show junk and then was upset at. He said it ruined his career. I don't know if that got him fired from Days of Our Lives or whatever one he was on, but he attributes that's what got him fired. So that he obviously, I mean, he's still in the book, and I mean, I don't. The book is a history compendium of like you can't rip the pages out of something that's already you can buy on eBay. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, in the
mm,
magazine might be in the book. So although I didn't put I mentioned the Brad Pitt thing, I didn't put the Brad Pitt cover or anything like that, just because I don't want
mm,
to reopen that can of worms or Leo. Um, but as far as Marcus Patrick, he was upset after doing it. Keith Urban, there's like a resurgence if you Google Keith Urban play girl. He was just talking recently on a podcast about how he would have done anything for his career at that point. So that's why he did Playgirl. But we haven't like retweeted that or repost because like if you talk about our brand and say like I would have done anything, like even Playgirl, it just makes us sound like even this garbage. So
mm. Like it
uh,
doesn't elevate the
right,
artistic
yeah,
value,
like if
which is there.
yeah, and who else? Peter Steele was upset with the gay audience that was, you know, lusting after him, and did a really homophobic song called "I Like Goyles" after that. Girls, but spelled weird,
Wow.
Gills. And the lyrics to that are really, really like gay bashing, basically.
Mm,
So, but he died of like sepsis or something shortly after. So that's not, but he was
yeah.
definitely upset that Shawn Michaels, the WWF wrestler, he was pissed that so many gays started paying attention to him after doing Playgirl. He didn't factor in that there would be a gay audience. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Which is
mean,
just wild because like my opinion would be, wouldn't they be happy that there's
that
like a
there's
fan base for them, that there's at least any kind of publicity for a career that has a male audience now interested in them?
yeah,
But I don't know. I mean, it sounds like just internalized homophobia.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but like, so like just, you know, as I'm like looking through and like just figuring out some talking points for you, Danny, like Playboy and Playgirl have absolutely no connection now, right?
Never have.
They never had a connection.
Never
Oh,
did.
okay.
Playgirl, I think, was founded. What Playboy was founded in what, '68 with the first issue of Marilyn Monroe nude. And Playgirl was incorporated in 1969, but didn't have a first issue until 1973. 1950,
Mm,
1953 was that first issue of Playboy. Playgirl incorporated in 1969, started as a Playgirl Club, which was out here in California near Disneyland, and it was a strip club for men and women strippers, but like it was kind of like the girls would go there because they wanted to go home with guys, basically. So it was
mm,
positive and based on the girls' terms of but horny girls. Um, so the founder, Douglas Lambert, married Jenny, which was one of the dancers. There's a book called A Teardrop on a Rose that you would
mm.
probably, it's the story of how it all got founded. And in the book, he talks about called A Teardrop on a Rose. In the book, he talks about how his wife had the idea to start Playgirl magazine and to do full frontal nudity of men for women, which had never been done before. And that started with the idea of using celebrities. So they had people from the Carol Burnett show, and Fabian Forte was like a musician who was one of the early '70s. But so once they decided that they were going to do a magazine, they were like, okay, well, Hugh Hefner's going to sue us, so let's just get that out of the way. So they put a billboard in front of the Playboy office that advertised Playgirl Club
Oh, wow.
right in front of Hugh's office. And when he saw it, he got upset and he sued and lost, and then he sued and lost, and then he sued and lost. So three times, no dice. And I think they were thinking to settle or something, but that's way in the past. But yeah, it's never been the same. And um, in the book, in my introduction, I talk about meeting Hugh Hefner's son at the Playboy Club in New York. And when I
Mm.
was introduced to him as Playgirl Danny, he shook my hand and he said, "Ah, the imposters." So, uh,
Well,
but it's a coattail that we've ridden successfully, because everybody thinks that it is the same company. So it's like that probably helped us to become a household name back in the '70s through now. But yeah, I mean, it definitely did. There's no doubt about it, because not very many people know that they were never connected.
mm, mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be great if we can get, is Mickey, what is Mickey's role? Is
He's
Mickey with Playgirl or?
Yeah, he's creative director now. So
Okay.
he's special projects director at Paper, and we had hunted him to help us with getting celebrities on board again. So he was the one that hooked up Maluma. He did the Days of Our Lives shoot, and he has a lot of things come across his desk at Paper magazine that if they're not a good fit for Paper, then he has a lot of celebrity connections. Um,
Okay. And it seems like that's kind of like where Playgirl is like hoping to get like those high profile men
yeah,
interested again to do like spreads, since it seems like they've
yeah.
kind of
And
distanced
we've got
themselves.
yeah. It's working, and we're moving the needle back in that direction. We have a high profile coming up in December and January, so those will be coming out soon. And hopefully, those will we're getting the word out and the buzz and everything to just continue on that path back into elevating the brand out of the you know the, out of the gutter, which it had kind of fallen into when I was told to fire everyone and take everything home.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. There's such a like a storied history. So yeah, like what date do you think, Danny? Like I'm just thinking because like with publicity and promoting, I could definitely, not only the 50-year history, but like the calendar, I'm assuming is going to be continued to be sold into the new year, right? Like
Yeah,
when
we're
do you
still selling
stop?
calendars from 2024, even at the end of November. So Yeah, for sure. I can hit Mickey up. You're in the same time zone as him, so that's good because the people from Metal Magazine went back and forth with him. So maybe I'll give him a day because there was so much like scheduling back and forth with this person who is in India who's writing a piece for Metal Magazine that
Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah,
could just
that's
tell that he was like flustered and was just like, "Well, I'm just not going to do it. Just like make Danny do it, and I don't need to be there." Because she was just like, "Well, that doesn't work. How about this?" And he was like, "That doesn't work. How about this?" And it was just that back and forth. And I was like, "Just let me know what you guys decide." But and then I could tell he was agitated, so I'll give him a day or so to chill out. And
yeah,
if you don't mind, maybe by like Saturday, I'll put a note in to like
that's
Mickey
fine. Yeah.
Ivory.
Yeah, like I'm thinking even like if we recorded the weekend or weekday before, like what's nice is I stopped teaching and I have like a long winter break. So maybe even like a weekday before the week before Christmas. And then
Sure.
I can release the episode the week of New Year's just because it's kind of like, okay, you know, there's like the calendar, there's the 50-year history. Like it could be a really good right after the holiday
Yeah,
um
that's good. I mean,
episode.
or if you want to do it before that to release it by the holidays,
Yeah.
that would be fine too. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be good. Okay. Um, but yeah, no, this sounds great, Danny. So,
how often do your episodes come out?
they come out usually like once, I try for once a week, but like I'm teaching like 6 writing and literature courses.
Mm.
Um, so usually once every other week. But like
That's
during the holidays, I'm releasing one every week, like up to the new year.
are those already scheduled and
Well, I have one with a Broadway, um, creator. His name's Chad Bigellen. He just wrote a novel called Showmance.
mhm.
Um, he's like the writer of Elf and The Prom and um, The Wedding Singer. So like I have him for the week before Christmas, but I don't really have anything like right after Christmas. So like you probably Playgirl would be a great after Christmas to New Year's Eve.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna jot that in my notes. So I know what's going on. But yeah, I think this all sounds good. Are you like anonymous? Like, are you allowed to like have you and Mickey can have like video and everything?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, and I think he would be as well. We just did 2 events in New York, one at Bookmark and the other one a talk at Soho House, and that was a moderated discussion with this guy Travis Paul Martin, who works at Soho House and has I don't know if he's a PR person or, but he had all the talking points, and me and Nikki and him were on the stage, and that was a full house, and you know
Oh,
that
nice.
we're an anonymous in that, and now we're doing Chicago in on December 12th at the Chicago Soho House. So we're not anonymous. I
Oh,
mean, I
yeah.
try to involve the former editor-in-chiefs, the girls, Michelle Zip and Nicole Caldwell. They also have essays in the book, one of them on the oral
Oh,
history of Playgirl 50 years, and the other one on the feminist point of view. Um,
yeah. Yeah.
but they live upstate in New York, and I don't know, they seem busy with other things, whereas I'm like, this book was kind of my baby, so I'm happy to do a book tour or
Like this is your passion project. Like this is everything you've been working toward.
this. Yeah, I mean, I carried this stuff around for 15 years with the idea that like somebody has to preserve this history somehow because it seemed too crucial and important for me. I wasn't, it could have just been in a landfill if I would have been like, screw this. And the previous owner, if I hadn't sold it like that month, it would have been, if you Google the previous owner, he's in jail now for like $300 million in fraud, like Ponzi scheme. So I sold the company from him to the new owner.
Wow.
Month of him getting investigated for all that fraud, which I had no idea what was going on. I was in New York. I was a remote worker. That was all going on in Florida. But
Yeah.
it was like I dodged a bullet like Trump, basically. Like literally, it like hit my ear, and I was like, "What was that?" You know, like it was like, "Oh fuck, he's getting arrested, and the credit card I've been using to travel the world on is credit card associated with an account that's a Ponzi scheme of $300 million that I had no idea about." But I mean,
Yeah.
what can I say?
Ah, well,
I
okay. Yeah,
know.
that's wild. Yeah. But oh, also, Danny, do you know before, we get off this call, like first, thanks. I think this is great. Like now I really have a clear vision. And do you know about the Gay and Lesbian Review?
Um,
It's like
no,
glreview.com.
okay.
Um, or no, sorry, .org. Um, and it's a LGBTQ literature magazine, and they also do like film, TV recaps. They're my sponsor for the podcast, and they've been like publishing bi-monthly since the 1990s. I'm just thinking if you wanted me to like connect you in an email to Steven, the publisher,
Mm.
um, I'm sure that if you have like um, a press release or if you have like an article that like speaks to the book,
Yeah, that's
he would probably definitely feature it in one of the upcoming magazines.
yeah, that would be great. I'm still trying to get as much promotion and press on this as possible. Just, it just came out two weeks ago was its official drop date. So, it was listed in Publishers Weekly as top 10 books in art and photography coming out in fall. And then since then, we haven't had any real reviews. We were sending copies to like Book Forum and Art Forum, and I've got another list. But yeah, anything helps for sure.
Good, good, good.
It's
Okay, well,
so new, and we're trying to get it like in holiday gift guides, even if it's too late for that now. But with this coming out around Christmas, or I think it's still very, very fresh. I mean, so yeah, I'm happy to do as much as possible to help it get
yeah,
promoted to the.
yeah. Were you like successful getting it in like the New York Times holiday gift guide?
I don't know. I mean, has that come out yet? I know that they were working on it. Like there was a
Nah, I don't think that comes out until the middle of December, I think.
right. So I know that Abrams was definitely pushing Playgirl as like one of the hardest pushes for the holiday gift guides, just because it was the only book from the Abrams roster that was included in the top 10 list of the books being published this fall.
Oh,
So
that's
that
good.
so they were like, oh, let's pay attention to this one, and so that's good. But I don't know. I don't know what the decisions have. We'll see what the holiday guides say, because I wasn't really sure. I mean, if the book was released to the public technically on the 29th, although everybody that ordered it on Amazon was getting it before then. But on the 29th, I was in New York, and we had just done the book party and bookmark on the 24th, and on the 29th, I was like, okay, I want to go. I want to walk to Barnes and Noble. I want to go to Strand. I want to go to I don't know. Is there another one?
McNally Jackson.
Yeah, that well they were originally going to do a party, but they wanted to do it on Halloween night at the South Street Seaport location, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like,
Hmm.
rather do
I
something
like
else.
the South Street Seaport location, but
That's
Halloween night
Halloween
is
night, like
no,
like
not Halloween
I
night.
would desolate down there for that. Yeah, and I was just like,
Yeah,
that's not bad. But I'm glad Bookmark pulled through.
yeah. How about like any of the Hell's Kitchen bars? Like, did they express any? Or how about Red Eye?
I yeah, I was thought about that too, but I was just kind of like exhausted from. I had a
Oh yeah,
shoot.
that's too much for you.
Yeah, it was too much, and also that I feel like it would have diluted it. So the bookmark one was in Village Voice, and that was a really good crowd, and we got super gay vodka from Gay Letter to,
Oh nice.
so it was free cocktails, so people were hanging around buying books, and they wanted them signed. And then like the next day, I had to do a shoot, which one of the celebrities coming up for the January cover is NLA Choppa. He's a rapper who has 8 million followers. So it was like jumping from that into this shoot where I'm the producer, and there's an entourage involved, and the guy's a diva. It was just like I just felt like I was like being spun around and punched in the face at the same time. And
Oh my
then we
God.
had the Soho House talk, so I was just like, no parties, I don't care. Like maybe a party in the new year, and I think we're gonna do a party with NLA Choppa at the Standard Hotel, the Labane, which is where we did the shoot.
Mm.
So maybe that'll, double as a book release party because besides Bookmark, I did the Circus of Books here, which was like the what
Yeah, I want to go there when I'm like, I haven't been to LA in a long time, but definitely I need to like make my way to LA because, yeah, I remember watching that documentary about Circus of Books.
Yeah, Rachel Mason. We talked to her because we wanted her to produce potentially content for Playgirl from her. I love her. But
Well, I hope this even becomes a documentary. Has that been in the
I
talks
was
with you?
working on it. Yeah, I have some meetings about that. The rights were tied up for the 50th anniversary. We had signed a contract with HBO, and I don't know. This isn't necessarily public information. I don't know if I've signed an NDA to whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. I won't release it.
Contract is up. They sat on it. They told us that they were producing a show called Playgirl, which was going to be like Boogie Nights meets Sex and the City. And then all of a sudden they released a show called Minx, which was clearly about Playgirl.
Mm.
Saw that show, Minx, Minx.
Wait, yes. Was
It's
this the
on
one
Stars.
where?
It was on HBO, but it got pulled from HBO, and now it's on Stars.
Okay.
But it's a feminist publication that gets started in 1973 in Los Angeles that has naked men, and it's
Oh, so
clearly
basically, it's Playgirl,
it's
just
the
under a
font,
different name.
it's the font, it's the layout of the covers of the magazine. Everything is ripped off Playgirl, and they didn't bother to ask us, or they were coming into our offices and looking at our content, saying that they were going to give it to us as Playgirl, and then they turned around and did something completely different. Or they
Wow.
had two different projects and they just were like, we can't do both. So they screwed us and they sat on the rights for 2 or more years, and then
Mm.
we're like, and then we were like, okay, well, you just wasted our time, and like we were approached by several people about doing a documentary, and we had to say no because our rights were with HBO, and so we're like, we're taking the rights back, and now I'm kind of shopping around the documentary idea.
Well,
So if you
you're
have it,
definitely gonna. Yeah, if I like think of a network, but definitely what I can do is I'll set you up in an email like right now after we get done this. I'll send you like those 2 podcast episodes. Again, don't feel like you have to listen to all of them. Just if you want like an idea, I would say the um, Manuel Betancourt one is probably the most of interest. But then I'll introduce you to Steven just because the Gay and Lesbian Review could be a good. Their
yeah,
audience is a lot of like literary enthusiasts, and they like one of their writers is Andrew Holleran, who did Dancer from the Dance. Like it's a very like, nostalgic
yeah,
gay
that
literary
sounds
group.
perfect. Because we're not denying that aspect of the readership. Bruce Bruce did the foreword of the book, which is you can read most of it on playgirl.com too. If you go under archives, it's like it should be not far down the
Oh,
foreword by
nice.
Bruce. You'll have the book soon anyway. But yeah, it's of the new contributors of essays. It's Bruce LaBruce, me, and Nikki Boardman, which are 3 gays, and then the 2 former editor-in-chiefs, Nicole Codwell and Michelle Zip. So the gays even outweighed the girls and and the new contributions, but it was really just because, well, I asked John Waters and he said he didn't have time, but Bruce
Oh wow.
really did do an amazing. Meanwhile, he's having dinner with me 3 times in Cape Cod, John Waters. I'm like, from the 3 hours that we spent on dinners, you could have written a 50. I don't care if it's 2 sentences,
It
but
doesn't even take that long. Well, whatever.
anyway, Bruce is really funny and
Yeah.
like.
How
Yeah.
about Andy Cohen? I'm sure he would write something.
We talked about that, and we talked about one of
Or how
our.
about if you were like the bart or one of you are the bartender and watch what happens.
John Hill dated him, and he's the other host with the Discretion and Bias. So I'm sure that
Yeah.
we were joking about, because Countess Luann did a Playgirl cover in the past, revisiting that and redoing that cover, and the ideas
Mm.
that like who would she be hugging, because she's kind of like Janet Jackson, like from behind this beefcake.
Oh, well, that's funny.
and like, you know, one of the ideas we threw out was Andy Cohen, but I don't know that we would. I don't know. Countess and Andy Cohen would be the best option. We're still brainstorming that one.
Well, it seems like you got a lot going on, Danny, but this is exciting. So, yeah, just let me know what Mickey says, like when, you know,
Okay. Yeah, I put
he's
in a.
ready.
Yeah, I'm just.
But yeah, but like maybe mid-December, definitely we'll get like
Yeah,
a
that would be
recording and then I'll put it out and, um,
we're going to
you
be
know,
in
yeah.
Chicago. So him and I will be in Chicago together on December 11th, 12th, and 13th. Just
Oh, okay.
putting it out there. Our,
December
our
11th,
Soho
12th.
House is on the 12th of December.
Okay, so that would be great because if you two are going to be together anyway, you can just jump on. Um, oh, okay. Yeah, I should be fine.
Like,
Definitely like the
I mean,
12th would be good.
that would be easy for us to like. I mean, well, yeah, we're going to be staying at the Soho House, and I can be like, oh, we just need 1 hour for the two of us to like do this promotional thing, and I think
Yeah.
he'd really be down for that.
Okay. That'd be great. Okay. Well, thank you, Danny. It was so nice to meet you and,
All right,
you
awesome.
know, see who's like doing all of the Playgirl Instagram.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really thankless because I try to remain anonymous on the Instagram because well, there's so many crazy people, but also, you know, when people like if anyone finds out, you know, people are putting two and two together as I'm like accepting collaborations because I do want to take credit for putting this book together, even you
Yeah.
know, credit for producing like this or any of that stuff. But yeah, and then I just get nasty messages like you're just a gay guy who thinks they run a feminist publication and nobody cares and like all you know, just
What?
thank you for taking the
Yeah.
time to tell me that, you know.
There's always the naysayers. They're the ones though who aren't happy creatively.
What are they doing? Yeah. So
They're just trolling. That's what they're
carry
doing.
on.
Well, yeah. Well, this was great, Danny. I hope you have a good night and thank you so much for like just jumping on.
Cool. Thank you. And yeah, let's be in touch and I'll send you a
Okay.
calendar. Okay.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, thanks, Danny.
All right.
Okay,
Awesome.
talk soon. Bye bye.